Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run, the Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, shoot us a quick take, 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. And shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code TheRunPodcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website, so I don't know about you, but basketball season rolling strong right now, so still want to go to a couple games. Gonna create that account and then use that code to save myself $20 when I go ahead and purchase that ticket. However, man, even though basketball season is rolling, the NFL season is coming to an end, bro. The last week of the NFL season is here. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man, it's low-key kind of sad. It's like it's a sad feeling watching the NBA or the NFL season come to an end like this because, you think about all of the fun times of your team winning games and pulling out these close games and overtime and all of that. Maybe you're a Jets fan, so you can't relate, or maybe, you're a Titans fan, so you can't relate, but you might be happy the season's over. But I know even me being a Falcons fan and knowing my team has gotten eliminated, I'm still just somewhat bitter. It's bittersweet. The season's coming to an end, man. It's like, dang, I have nothing to cheer for as a Falcons fan because my team got eliminated. Thank you, Jaden Daniels. Now my team's eliminated, and now I get to watch this last week of football, and I'm just playing for fun watching my team and thinking about, well, maybe we'll be okay next year. We'll be fine next year. Penix is pretty good. We'll be okay. So now it's like a slippery slope of, oh, next year we'll get them, Tiger. It's like one of those things. So it's pretty bad, but I mean, maybe I should start expecting this. I don't know. I guess it was just a year for Falcons to be like, oh, something's actually going to happen. You got Kirk Cousins, new head coach. The expectations was high. You got Drake London, Bijan Robinson, who are playing great players, very young, talented. It was a lot going on where, the Falcons had a huge upside, but they had the chance to win 10 games. Oh my gosh, the first time the Falcons would have won 10 games since 2017, and of course they couldn't do it. Thank you, Jaden Daniels, once again. But it's just, man, it was rough, but it's bittersweet, man. It's bittersweet that the season's coming to an end, and I mean, it's been a bunch of 8-8, 7-10 seasons for the Atlanta Falcons, and for those other NFL fans out there who can relate, it's disappointing. Like when your team is supposed to live up to the hype of being good or somewhat of a competitor, and then they don't get into the playoffs. I mean, I think that's an underestimated conversation amongst NFL fans is like that pain of not making the playoffs. Like Ravens fans, y'all good. Y'all know what it feels like. Steelers, y'all always in the playoffs, even though sometimes y'all be average. Chiefs, we know y'all straight. Bills, Lions is feeling that new feeling now. A lot of teams is beginning to feel that. Packers, y'all straight, y'all good. It's a lot of teams that has had that experience of getting to the playoffs every year. And if they don't make it, then it's like, this is a very disappointing season. But nobody talks about the teams where it's like, oh, you're supposed to be good. You're supposed to get to the playoffs, and then you don't make it. You fall short. You end up like the New York Jets. You were supposed to be really good. You had some high expectations, and you fell short. You end up like the Falcons. You were supposed to be really, really good. You were supposed to possibly go to the Super Bowl, and then you end up falling short. You end up like, what's another team who was supposed to be really good? The Cincinnati Bengals. They're in heavy playoff competition right now, trying to fight for survival. and go to the playoffs. This game Saturday is about to depend on it, but nobody ever talks about the teams that don't get into the playoffs. Like, it's a lot to deal with. Week after week, your team's upsetting you sometimes. You getting frustrated. You watching them play bad. You trying to figure out what the hell's going on with the team and why they're not utilizing the best players. It's tough sometimes being on a team that's trying to compete to even get in the playoffs. Seahawks, y'all know the feeling. 49ers, they going through it right now because they've been that team that's getting there, and now they can't even see it. So it's tough, man. People don't really talk about that pain. Cowboys fans know it all too well. And me watching my team not get into the playoffs, it almost made me have some sympathy for the Cowboys fans because every single year, they got the craziest expectations of, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're about to be the best of the best and all of that. Like, Cowboys always got the craziest type of expectations. So I can't even imagine having those standards every single year and falling short every single year. So it's tough, man. And, I don't think teams like that get enough credit. It's hard to focus on the good when your team is getting eliminated all the time. Like, Chargers, huge upside, but they've been in that situation too where they're just trying right there to get into the playoffs, but it's just not quite there. So I think check on your friends, bro. If your team is in the playoffs, you're doing good. Maybe you won in fantasy. Check on your friends. Check on the Green Bay Packers fans who's struggling and possibly about to get put out and all of that. Check on the Seahawks. Check on them Falcons fans. Check on the Chargers fans. Check on the Bengals fans. Check on your fans who are fans of teams, or check on your friends who are fans of teams that didn't make the playoffs. Because just know, bro, they over here hurting. Have fun. Make fun of their team. Laugh at them. Joke with them. Talk about your team trash. We beat y'all. We swept y'all in the division. Whatever. All of that stuff is cool, but make sure they okay. Because I tell you, bro, I had the flu when I seen the Falcons get eliminated. That shit was just not cool, bro. Oh, no man on earth should ever had to go through that. Watching their team lose and get eliminated from the playoffs in overtime. At that, thank you, Jaden Daniels. And then also having the flu on top of that. So not only are you sick from watching your team lose, but you're also sick because you can't breathe straight. You can't even get out a sentence because your throat's jacked up. You're coughing, sneezing, nose stuff. No man on earth should ever have to go through that experience of watching their team get eliminated while they're already sick. That is just, damn it. Jaden Daniels, I'm going to hold a grudge against you for a long, long time because of that. That was not cool at all. Like, that was rough to go through. That was rough to go through. But there were some good things. There were some fun things in the season. And before I talk about all the bad, I just want to highlight some of the good. One of my favorite moments from this regular season, just from football. And it was watching Kirk Cousins his first few weeks with the Atlanta Falcons, bro. You can't tell me that was the most fun time as a Falcons fan and probably as a fan in the NFL, watching the Falcons go crazy like that in the first 4 weeks of the season like they did, bro. And particularly that game against Tampa Bay on Thursday Night Football. That was a classic. Let's be real. They delivered a classic. Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins, man, combined for 7 touchdowns. It was a shootout on a Thursday night football game, something we haven't seen on Thursday night football in a long time. It was a high-scoring game. Kirk was dealing. Baker Mayfield was dealing. The game went to overtime. Falcons end up winning. Then you got Kirk Cousins swag surfing. He had the crowd lit. He had the fans lit. The narrative was the Falcons is the best, one of the best offenses, and they possibly going to the Super Bowl. That was a fun time. Obviously. We see how that played out. Kirk got sent to the bench because he couldn't get his A game back together. Falcons missed the playoffs. Buccaneers in the playoffs. Yeah, it was a fun time. Another good memory too was watching the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. That was another shootout. The first game, honestly, both games were shootouts, but the first game when the Bengals were at home, it was just crazy. Ravens ended up coming back from down, I think, 14, and it was just a shootout. We seen Lamar Jackson have some crazy dynamic plays. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase showed off in the dynamic duo that they were. They ended up throwing crazy amount of yardage, man, and it was just fun to watch. It was fun to watch, but I mean, hey, man, the season is coming to an end, and I'm sad to see it come to an end, but I will say this. All right, so since my team is out of the playoffs, oh, man, thank God this is a podcast and it wasn't live. I just almost died. Still recovering from the flu, if you can't tell. But since my team's not in the playoffs in the Atlanta Falcons, I don't have a team to cheer for. I'm not cheering for the Atlanta Falcons. They're not going to be playing. So I think, for me, I'm ready to just see history, man. Let's see this Chiefs three-peat. I want to see the Chiefs three-peat, make history. I know everybody hates Pat Mahomes, but this is the main reason why I want to see them. Obviously for the history. And then because I usually always cheer for the underdogs. Underdogs right now, I think Bills have enough hype to be considered a team that's not an underdog. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are a top seed. I don't think they're considered an underdog. Everybody's been counting the Chiefs out, including myself. I've been saying the Chiefs have been playing to the level of their competition. They haven't looked like a championship team. And I think going into any matchup that they play, they're probably going to be the underdogs. Only thing that people are holding them as a threat is because they have the experience in the playoffs and they've won 2 Super Bowls in back-to-back years. So I'm hoping that they can continue on and possibly three-peat. And let's wrap it up, man. I think that'd be dope for the Kansas City Chiefs. But anyway, look, man, we got some more stuff coming up. Obviously, some news. And then the NBA, they've had a ratings issue. I haven't really got to touch on this issue, but we got some more information on this ratings issue with the NBA. And I'll tell you exactly what they need to do to fix this. But stay tuned. It's halftime. We'll be right back, and we got some news for the run coming up.